Ever wondered what whales pack? Some are very expensive things, while others are more dangerous than nice. Parasites. What, you think only mammals get lice and parasites? Whales also have hundreds and thousands of tiny whale lice living, settling on their skin. This whale lice live in the rough patches, the skin folds, and the lesions of whales, each of them having a certain specific corresponding cetacean creature living as a parasite on them. Even the male and female whales have a uniquely different lice species living on them. Granted, whales don't only have lice, they also have barnacles clinging to them like a strong magnet on a refrigerator door, or a hitchhiker for the long run. They're symbiotic BFFs for life, but in this symbiotic relationship, only the barnacles really get the benefit. In this case, the symbiotic relationship between the barnacle and the whale is called commensalism. So, how do the barnacles benefit from the whale, you may ask? Well, first of all, the barnacle gets a free ride, free food, and a stable living area. They're also quite choosy on where they want to live, usually opting for the whale's head and chin, where there is a consistent water flow. Pretty good bargain, really. Baleen. What is baleen? Well, there's two types of whale. One is the baleen and the other is the toothed. And as aptly named, toothed whales have teeth, which they use to hunt their prey. In the case of killer whales and the sperm whale, it's namely fish, squid, and seals. On the other hand, baleen whales, known to be larger than toothed whales, feed by opening their mouths and vacuuming in water with the tiny krills and plankton. The whale then, through its long and stringed together fingernail-like plates made out of keratin, pushes out water, trapping its food inside its mouth. This filter-like material is also commonly known as whalebone. Each whale has a difference in its baleen number depending on the species. Usually these keratin structures can grow up to 17 feet long. In the past, before people invented the spring steel and celluloid, people used baleen or whalebone, which is considered of higher value due to its ability to retain the various shapes applied to it with the application of heat to create boning for corsets, frameworks for crinoline and parasols, baskets, brushes, knife handles, fans, and many, many more. Golden vomit. Now, normally we don't think too much about excretions. We immediately dispose of those without much thought. However, that isn't the case with whale vomit. Why is that? Well, guess what is? Here's a hint, it's valuable. Figured it out yet? It's not just vomit, it's ambergris. Yup, the well-known and highly prized ingredient in fine perfumes, scented candles, and incense is whale puke. Ambergris, which scientists struggle to define as either vomit or excrement, is created in the stomach and intestine of sperm whales, whose diet consists of cephalopods and sea creature with indigestible sharp beaks made out of chitin. A part of the sharp beaks, which the whale regurgitates, makes its way into the whale's gut. In order to protect the whale's intestine, its body starts to produce a waxy substance to coat the residual beak, and over time forming ambergris. Over the course of history, ambergris, varying in color, may come in black, gray, brown, or even white. It's usually found as a round-shaped lump on the shore and has been used as medicine, incense, and even as an aphrodisiac by many people. Earwax. Wouldn't it be cool to know that the whale's been through its lifetime even after it's been long gone? And what if I told you scientists have found a way to do this through its earwax? Yeah, I'm not kidding here. Whales actually form their earwax similarly as humans do, but in a more massive amount due to its size. Similar to reading a tree's life through the tree ring, scientists learned the whale's annual cycles of food intake through the color of the long earwax, which appears as bands. In addition, just like tree rings, scientists can also use the earwax to know the age of the whale as well. Honestly, it's almost as if whale earwax is a chronological diary and time capsule of the whale's experiences at sea. Not only that, a whale's earwax does not only reveal the history of the whale's life when it was stressed, its cortisol level throughout its life, but it can also reveal information about the history of the ocean, the abnormal temperatures, pollutants, and more while the whale was all alive. Science is pretty neat like that. Junkyard. Plastic bags, packaging materials, food wrappers, candy wrappers, fishing equipment. What do all these items have in common though, especially with whales and junkyards? Well, they're found inside both. These are the result of humans throwing immensely durable, single-use products and waste into the sea, where they of course do not degrade over time. Now, usually these items are commonly made up of synthetic fibers and plastics, which are then mistaken by marine species as a food source, resulting in the consumption of these harmful products. In fact, in 2019, an 1,100-pound male curvy or beaked whale was found washed ashore in the Philippines, and Debone Collector Museum, a non-profit organization, reported that there was 88 pounds worth of plastic trash found inside the belly of the whale. Mind you, that is the most plastic ever found inside a whale since. Adding to that, it was also discovered that some plastics were so compact that they were on the verge of calcification inside the belly of the whale. In addition, it was also revealed after the necropsy that they also found 16 sacks of rice, several shopping bags, and 4 banana plantation-style bags. Ink. No, I'm not changing the topic to squids, we're still talking about whales. Specifically, the dwarf sperm whale and the pygmy sperm whale, which gets confused with one another, due to their similar appearance. Both have a somewhat flat head and back, and both are known to live in tropical, temperate, and subtropical areas of water around the world. In fact, they were only distinguished as a separate species in 1966. However, little is known about these creatures, seeing that these whales rarely swim by the water's surface or any fishing vessels. Now, what does ink have to do with both of these whale species? Well, these two deep-sea creatures share a similar defense with the squid, unlike their other whale relatives, making them very unique. The pygmy sperm whale and the dwarf sperm whale's intestine has a special sac that contains a reddish-brown liquid that they can release to create a distracting cloud of murkiness in the water in order to help them escape from predators. Fun fact, they can also release more than up to 3 gallons of this ink for protection. Pretty interesting. Whale oil. Whaling's been occurring for thousands of years all around the world. Evidence suggested that it was even practiced as far back as 3000 BC by people from the North Atlantic and North Pacific Inuit. The uses of whale products varied over time. In the 1860s to the 90s, sperm whales were mostly coveted by people due to spermaceti. Spermaceti is a whale byproduct that is described as an oil and waxy substance. They're derived from melting down the blubber, which is the thick layer of fat underneath the skin of the whale. In the past, people used whale oil for lighting, as this oil burned slowly and didn't exude any offensive odor. Aside from that, it was also used to make quality scentless candles. That's not all, though. Whale oil was also processed into lubricating oils for the clockmaking industry, as it worked well with very delicate machinery and remained fluid even during colder days. Its most surprising use, however, was when it was used in the manufacturing of soaps and cosmetics to impart a glossy finish, paint, and glaze for photography. Now it's time for the day's best pick. Some of us have heard about Jonah from the Bible, right? Well, guess what? He has a modern-day equivalent. Sort of. Man. No, it isn't Jonah from the Bible, but a living, breathing, and kicking man from the 21st century. Although an exceedingly rare occurrence, there are incidents of whales accidentally swallowing swimmers and divers. In fact, it happened last year in 2021. Michael Packard is a resident licensed commercial lobster diver. While on his second lobster dive of the day, he was 10 feet deep from the bottom of the ocean, looking through the schools of fishes and sand laces swimming by. Suddenly, though, he was thrust into complete darkness. Michael was inside a humpback whale. Thankfully, he didn't suffer any severe injuries. It actually turns out that being eaten by a whale is far better than being eaten by a shark. Anyway, with escape in mind, Michael moved around to coax the whale into spitting him out of its mouth. After an estimated 30 to 40 seconds of struggle, the lobster diver soon saw light and was freed from the mouth cavity of the humpback whale. He got out of this incident without breaking any bones, but he did suffer a lot of soft tissue damage. Honestly, lucky man. Explosion-inducing gases. When a whale dies, one of two things happen. Either their bodies sink deep into the ocean floor, becoming feed for marine life and other organisms, or their large bodies wash up on shore. If the latter happens, after reaching the shore, the dead whale's body immediately starts the decomposition process, and several gases start to bloat the carcass. The decay is aided by the sunlight, further expediting the gruesome process. As the gases expand the whale's body, its skin, the only barrier between the whale's guts and the area and people around, start to break, leading to an explosion of blood and gore. 2004, the residents of Taiwan had an impromptu lesson on whale biology after the festering remains of a 60-ton whale exploded in the middle of the street during transport. This showered the horrified and surprised passers-by in a rain of blood, guts, and other whale pieces. The street, shops, and cars weren't spared either. To think this entire mess happened while the carcass was on its way to a research facility near the southwestern city of Taiwan for necropsy. Before we move on, I've got a little challenge for you that'll take 5 seconds to complete. So here's the deal. You just leave a like on this video, smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell, and you will get 25 years of amazing luck. Try it, it really works. Mercury. Where exactly is mercury found in the whales and dolphins, and yes, dolphins are whales as well? Well, it's found in their meat. 2002, Japan revealed after multiple tests that these meats contained a shockingly high amount of mercury. While it's widely known that animals accumulate amounts of heavy metal over the course of time in their tissues, this info shook the scientist world by storm. It's known that the Japanese government's limit for mercury is 0.4 micrograms of mercury per gram of whale meat. However, 2 of the whale meat samples under the test were found out to have contained over 1970 milligrams of mercury, nearly 5,000 times over the agreed-upon standard in Japan. Consuming them would exceed the healthy amount of mercury intake that the WHO considered safe, and is considered a health hazard as well. Consuming these causes a high risk to a lot of people, especially to pregnant women and unborn children, which may result in a lot of health issues, birth defects, and brain damage as well. Consuming a diet with high mercury can also cause grave digestive and respiratory trouble as well. See you all next time!